Today we are crafting with some weird, unique items from the Dollar Tree that you wouldn't usually think to grab first thing when crafting or making home decor. But if you are willing to be a little bit creative, you can DIY some gorgeous pieces using these weird items. This video is sponsored by Blissy, and I'll tell you all about them in a must-have for summer later on in the video, but let's go ahead and jump on into crafting. Did you know that you can actually make home decor out of a Dollar Tree paper towel holder? So I've seen a lot of people use this for organizational hacks, but I actually saw on TikTok, this account, that you can create a hanging plant with this, and I thought it was genius. All you have to do is pick up a planter. They use like a nicer paper towel holder, but I wanted to use Dollar Tree items to make this work. So all you have to do is drill a hole in the bottom of a pot or planter, and the Dollar Tree ones where they're kind of thin makes it really easy to drill a hole through and then cut the rest away. I was able to slide the paper towel holder down inside, glue this in place, fill it with styrofoam, and then any type of greenery or plant that you would like, and you could hang this anywhere. This would be so gorgeous from the ceiling or outside. I'm just displaying it inside because it's super rainy right now, but this will look so cute out on a patio. Okay, next I picked up one of these cloche containers or covers. This is like for protecting outdoor plants, but you can actually use this in a home decor project. So I thought it would be really fun to make like a indoor terrarium, or this is something that you could set out on the patio. I am using just a circle Dollar Tree sign, and then I'm using this as a stand. I had already made this. It's just a black bowl with a black like small little salad plate on top. I glued those together for a previous project, so this will work perfect for that. I'll get to reuse these. I painted the circle white, trying to kind of distress it a little bit, leaving some of the wood to show through. Glued this right on top of my stand, and then I'm going to just fill it up with anything that I want to really dress this up, and then I'll be able to put the cloche over the top. So for this, I kind of offset two little styrofoam discs from the Dollar Tree so that I could kind of put different levels or heights inside of this. So I knew I wanted to add a ton of moss to kind of make it look like a little fairy terrarium, but I'm not going to put like fairy trinkets in it, just mostly succulents. I kind of put this around the edges of this, just hot gluing it down in place, and then added any type of succulents. I love the Dollar Tree selection of succulents. They have tons of purples, but Walmart also sells quite a bit, but you're going to pay more than the $1.25 price point. I think as many textures and details that you can get in there as possible is better. I added lots of rocks and hanging little succulents. I glued the cloche right down on top. The hot glue does want to warp it just a tiny bit, so you might want to be super careful or use your hot glue gun on low temp, but I added this wood bead around the bottom, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So many different ways you could style this and even change out the colors, and I think this would be a really fun project to do, especially in the upcoming fall and winter DIY seasons. If you ever see these in the hair supply section, pick up a pack of them. There are a lot of things that you can do with this. Something that I like to do is add like metal hardware into my decor signs. So I actually found these in silver and gold at a different store, and I wanted to create like a sign and make it look like it had like actual hardware that it was hanging with and just dress it up a bit. So using a yardstick, I think this one is so pretty with the wood tones and the purple, and I'm just kind of threading on these little hair spirals on each side, and then hot gluing the hanger down in place with some popsicle sticks, and you can see what a huge difference this looks rather than just hanging it up with a plain twine hanger. I think it looks so good and adds so much detail. I didn't think this would be a weird crafty video without using some type of bathroom supplies. So I'm using a toilet plunger along with some of these new like solar stake lights. These have the flame glow, which they flicker, which I am in love with. I hope they keep bringing these out. But for this project, I'm using 2 of the toilet plungers, and I'm not going to be using the bottom pieces, but I thought I would leave them on just till I get them painted so I didn't get paint all over the table. So completely paint these black and let them dry. You could spray paint these if you wanted to. I'm just using some chalk paint because I didn't want to take these outside. But I am letting them dry, and then I'm going to be attaching these to the top. So you don't need the stake piece. I'm just pulling the tops off. You do want to make sure that they do work. I've brought solar lights home before that didn't work, so I want to make sure that they are functioning before I take the time to make this entire DIY and glue them down in place. But go ahead, and I am using my miter shears to kind of angle the bottom. I am going to be trying to press these into the ground, so I just thought that would help to give it a little bit of an angle. I love these miter shears. I'll have them linked down below. If you don't own a pair already and you're a big crafter, I highly recommend investing in them. They're really cheap. I think they're anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks depending on what brand you go for, but just check the reviews. Any of them work just as well as the other, I would assume, as long as the reviews are good. But I glued this to the top of the plunger, but I knew it wasn't going to stay there, so I did want to try to camouflage a way to add more hot glue. So I am going to be adding some nautical rope around this and just keep gluing it down in place, and that's going to give it more surface area to really hold this in place, and it's not going to fall off. I use tons of hot glue for my video, but always know that you can opt for a heftier glue, something that's going to last a little bit longer. This was a super rainy day. It was a lot of overcast. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get a shot at nighttime because they won't get enough charge, but these look really cool lighting up the stairs. Lots of more projects coming up using weird items. But first, let me tell you a little bit more about my sleeping best friend and obsession right now that is a must-have for summer, and that is the Blissy silk pillowcases. No lie, I seriously gave my husband one of these pillowcases and he loves it. He was even sad when I wouldn't let him take it camping with us over the past weekend, but there's no way I'm gonna take my best high-quality pillowcases out camping. These are so nice, and I just want to keep them forever. These are made with 100% mulberry silk. They are amazing quality and a great way to feel refreshed in the morning. It has been in the 90s here, and it is crazy at how big of a difference this pillowcase makes. It's temperature regulating, which helps you to stay cool. You're avoiding night sweats, but it really does help your overall health. So using a high quality silk pillowcase really helps fine lines and wrinkles. It's less absorbent next to your face, so it's gonna lock in all of the moisture or keep the moisture in your face. It helps with hair breakage as well as repels allergens. So many things that just you wouldn't think by switching pillowcases can make that big of a difference, but I'll never go back to a regular cotton pillowcase because I just think it's completely worth it. I know June is wedding season, so if you need an easy gift, these are wrapped gorgeous. The packaging is so perfect and spot on that you can just wrap this up and gift it as is. And Blissy makes this the most memorable gift because people are going to think of you whenever they are using it at night, and they're going to love it. So highly, highly, highly recommend. Cannot recommend enough. If you want to go try out Blissy, go click the link down below where you can go to blissy.com/Katelyn and receive 30% off of your entire order, and that is free worldwide shipping. That is Blissy, BLISSY.com/Katelyn, KATELYN, for the 30% off, or link will be down in the description box. I just made an entire video dedicated to how to use all of these new pegboard items, so I'll have that link down below. But today I'm actually pairing it with this phone ring that has a strap on it. You can actually use one of these small square pegboards along with this wrist strap for your phone and attach it to your remote control. So this is actually really good quality. I worried that the strap wouldn't even stay glued enough to the remote, but it's really hanging on there and working very well. I attached it to the top, and you can see it's still really comfortable to hold. Your hand's not touching any of the hardware, and you can kind of put it around your hand while you use it. But if you're like me and you lose remotes, but we always buy spares, I thought this was a fun idea to camouflage the pegboard behind your TV. My TV is hanging on the wall, so I'm able to secretly hang my extra remote as well as any cables that I need to hide back there. And then you push your TV back and nobody will ever know that you have supplies hanging back there. It keeps the clutter up off of any table that you have. You can add more pegboard systems back there and nobody will ever know. Okay, so today we are going to be painting with a broom head. So hear me out. This turned out really, really cool. I love dry brushing tons of things, but sometimes it's harder with a smaller brush. You're going to get too many strokes. So I wanted to try how this effect would work, and it turned out really, really cool. So I'm using one of these like brush head sets from the Dollar Tree and just like dabbing on the paint. So I started with the mineral color. This is like a soft like beige tan color, and going to be giving this canvas a lot of texture. I had to keep like reapplying the paint and kind of get the hang of it, and then you can see what a gorgeous effect. You're not going to get that same effect with a tiny little paintbrush because you're going to be able to see like where it starts and stops. So this gives it a nice airy effect. I did use my Cricut to cut out some vinyl decals so that I can use kind of like as a stencil, but feel free to use any of Dollar Tree stickers. I have used lots of Dollar Tree leaf stickers before, but I just love using my little Cricut Joy. It's so handy. So put this down in place, kind of spread out the little leaves going different directions, and then using the same brush, but this time using some elephant color chalk paint, I'm going to be dabbing it on there. It is a darker color and gray, but I feel like this is going to give it the perfect boho look and really make those little leaves show up. And then I'm just picking up the decals. I did kind of mess up the paint a little bit. I did want to pull it up while it was still wet so it wouldn't mess anything up. So I just took my little tiny paintbrush, went back in and smoothed out any fingerprints that I got on it, but it adds the perfect amount of texture and detail. I know a lot of times when we decorate with the same like neutral colors, you just need to bring in more texture, and I think this turned out great. When shopping online, I am seeing a lot of higher end stores putting out a lot of textured vases, and a lot of them have like florals on it. So I knew I could try this with Dollar Tree items. I'm taking 2 random jars that I already had on hand, and I found some tiny little petite flowers that would work perfect for this. I cut the little plastic pieces off the back, and then I'm going to hot glue them all over the jar so I could paint it all together, and it's going to give it some gorgeous texture. So I'm just spacing these out evenly, and on the second jar I did go in and kind of put 2 flowers together here and there to just kind of mix it up. But these, I think it's really cool how the middle of the flower is really poking out. It's going to make it really show up. So like I mentioned before, this is just a great way to make your like neutral home decor not look so bland by adding in as much texture as you can. So these flowers are a little bit different, but I did apply a lot of hot glue and then press the petals down into it so it's really going to hold on there, and then took these outside. I sprayed them with some London Fog, which is more of like a brown color, as well as some gold. You can pick which one that you like the best, but put some fake greenery in there, and these look so gorgeous displayed out in whether you're doing boho or farmhouse, or you could paint this colorful for summer. These would look so gorgeous painted in bright fun summer colors, but I love how they turned out. For the next project, I'm actually grabbing one of these Juncture brand bags. These are like fun summer bags. They have tons of designs and colors that you can pick up, and I loved this one. I thought it would look perfect with kind of the decor style I'm going with, especially for summer, bringing in tons of just anything plants or faux plants. So I actually cut this out, glued it on top of a wooden Dollar Tree sign. You can see that it is a little bit short, so I am going to be adding in some florals in the bottom. I have seen a lot of people like DIY home decor with gift bags from the Dollar Tree, and maybe that's a cool idea, but a lot of times the gift bags are super shiny and just have like a cheaper feel to them. I love this bag in particular, or this brand Juncture, because what they are putting out is it's like a better quality than a gift bag, obviously, because it's not to be used for one time, but it has like a matte finish and actually texture on this that I did cut out. So I love that. I feel like it makes it look like a higher end look, But like I mentioned, it was a little bit short, so stuffing some of my moss that I had left over from the terrarium that I made earlier, stuffing that down in the bottom, gluing it down, adding some little flowers. I went with more of a neutral color, but you could add any pop of color down there, glued them down in place, and I just think this looks so cute. It's the perfect colors, and it's going to look so pretty displayed around some florals. Okay, so let me know in the comments down below, what's the weirdest thing that you've picked up to DIY with at the Dollar Tree? I would say a toilet plunger is really weird, but now it kind of feels like a crafting staple. So many ways you can use the handle. I've made entire videos out of how to use a toilet plunger, and then I see tons of DIYers using it all the time. So if you're in the crafting community, you know we go after anything that has real wood on it at Dollar Tree. But I guess some of the weirdest things that I've used are like pickle jars, shower hooks. I've used broom handles from Dollar Tree. So many things that are not intended for crafting purposes there, but you can be creative with and make so many things. Thank you all so much for coming along and crafting with me today, especially watching me craft with these weird Dollar Tree items. Remember to let me know in the comments down below what's the weirdest thing that you've DIY'd with from the Dollar Tree, or maybe even how you used it. I love sharing inspiration down in the comments. Don't forget about Blissy. Thank you once again to Blissy for sponsoring today's video. If you want better hair, better skin, and a better night's sleep, get a Blissy silk pillowcase. They make the perfect gift or self-care treat for summer. Go to Blissy.com/Katelyn to receive an additional 30% off, as well as worldwide free shipping. That is free shipping, which is so exciting. The link will be down in the description box. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting. Bye.